Well, basically, I'm an abstract painter, and I let the paint, I usually improvise and let the painting take form, and then I'm able to identify what's in me. And that's the process. Okay? So I can't really tell you what I'm going to paint until I've started painting, or I've resolved the canvas. That's why they call me Mr. Lonely. 'Cause all I do is sit here and play the rock and roll. That's why they call me Mr. Lonely. All I do is sit here and play on my guitar. I ain't gonna be no movie star. That's why they call me Mr. Lonely. I don't really want to be a star. All I really want to do is sit here and play on my guitar. As an early teenager, I became interested in art, in the arts. And at that time, we were in what was called Rhodesia. Okay, you must realize that time was a very interesting time because it was a time when society was in rebellion. This was the time of the famous Woodstock Music Festival. There were people like Bob Dylan, the Beatles, and many other musicians who were championing the cause of this rebellion, the youth against the adults. People were looking for a way out of society and opting out of the system. And that time we were in Rhodesia, and it was a segregated state. Okay, whites on the top, Indians in the center, and the Africans a deprived class. Okay, right in the bottom. Of course, this was very unjust. I think my exposure to the war for liberation, had somehow enhanced my feelings towards life and increased my sensitivities. Because facing atrocities of that nature would force any man to think and contemplate life. Thinking people, they produce art. People who don't think, they're just living, daily, they don't produce art. Art is like a thought process. As a teenager, I had a great liking of music. And that time there was a music revolution, because there was the Beatles, there was John Lennon, there was Bob Dylan, and many groups emerged. And then later it went into blues. There was a blues revival, okay? Then it went to underground. Then all this new stuff came, heavy metal and everything. At the moment, I'm really enjoying indigenous music. They're making some beautiful stuff. And even these paintings that I'm going to work on, I want to use indigenous music, our own music. People like Chimbeto, Thomas Mafumo, all these ones want to use their music when I'm painting. We never know what we're going to create. We never know what we're going to create, okay? The whole idea of this idiom is that you paint and what's in you is released, what's inside you, okay? You're not aware of what you're going to produce. Jackson Pollock, the American abstraction painter, he called it unconscious painting, okay? We get into a state when the medium makes you oblivious of yourself and you paint, okay? And then whatever's within you is released, okay? That's what I hope to do. Forward. Masih aku padu. I'm living here as an individual in this society. Things are continuously happening to me, okay? There's interaction, there's interaction and interactivity, and I'm in this, okay? And it must sublimate on my canvas. It's a sublimation process. Painting is a sublimation process, that things are continuously happening. Like I tell you, the event now, I had lunch and the people were so good to me. It all builds up and accumulates you. You either filling the vessel or you emptying the vessel. That is the art process. Like, I had a layoff now. For a long time I haven't painted, and it was just not there to paint. And what had happened is the vessel had been empty. Now I've been just living life here in Zimbabwe. Now the vessel now is full. I can feel it. I know in myself now. The vessel is now being full with events and interactivity and interaction with people and everything. The whole situation, okay? And it's a political process because you can't separate art from politics. What's happening politically affects everybody, even in the man in the street. They're all affected by the political situation, okay? It's a dominant factor. I'd really like to represent in a Zimbabwean context, me as a painter working here for all these years, okay? What we've been through, our very, very spectacular historical background, what's been happening from pre-independence into the new liberated Zimbabwe and the post-independence era. Okay, that is a very spectacular happening. Even now we're having a referendum, things are happening. Things have just been happening, event after event, okay, have been taking place. And this represents the birth of a new nation. And we're going through those labor pains, all this upheaval and everything. Hopefully, I'm very optimistic that it will all settle down for the good of the people. I hope so. We don't know where we're going to, but we all have to hope for the best, that there comes some stability where people can prosper and there can be equality between the races and the tribes and everything. Okay, it's integral. I once made a painting called I Have a Right to Be Here. I was born here, I have a right to be here. Where else is home? We went through that really rough patch. Many people left. I just could not leave. I mean, the rich people who could afford it, they put their stuff into containers and they split. They left. Well, there's been two big exoduses. One after independence, and then now the third Chimurenga. Lots of people just left. But there's very, very good signs and symptoms of recovery. There are really very good signs. People are doing things. I mean, we're not marking time, we're going forward, definitely. Foo, it's going to wake up here, you'll see.
I hope so.
It's going to happen. It's not even what the government wants to do and what they want to say, and they actually say it's the demands of the people. The people need something, whether it's an identity or something, they need it. And that's why they're walking up and down here every day looking for that, going to earn their dollars there in the factories, passing here. But these people are going somewhere. You're going to see. You will come back to me and tell me later. Remember, Rashid, we had that conversation there. You told me this, you'll see here. It has to happen. And we can't remain isolated forever. We went through 13 years of bloody UDI under Smith. We came out of it. Ilanga upumile, Zwarako Buddha, we were coming out. Just going to go for people like Tambutsa Marachera, Yvonne Vera, lots of artists, contemporaries popping up here and there. It was going to flourish. Bang! We fell down again, back into seclusion, into isolation, political crisis, monetary collapse. We went through that. Monetary collapse, we went through that. We survived it. I survived it. Others died. I survived it. I don't know how. Here living in the south, I survived it.